I'd have huge arguments with my parents because they, only finished grade 8 back in Italy.
Mhm.
And one of the things they wanted for me was a good education. Because at the time, they thought a good education leads to a guaranteed good
Mhm.
opportunity. A good education is still a great asset. It's no longer the guarantee it used to be,
Mhm. That's
but
right.
without it, it makes your future much more difficult. So they couldn't understand why I was spending so much time in the community as my marks were sliding. And then what they also would say is if you're going to do community work, why can't you at least be paid for it? So I'm sure that after I went to bed, my parents would talk about their son who's not going to become much of anything because he's lost in the clouds. And I couldn't explain to my parents very easily the meaning of volunteerism because that
Mm.
wasn't part of their old or new world. It was part of mine. And when I chose politics, they weren't pleased. They didn't think that was quote unquote a real job. They
Mhm.
thought it was unstable, unpredictable. What happens when you lose an election? Then you got to start from scratch. Get a real job. Become a dentist.
Mhm.
My father said, and I said, well, it's a good profession, but I've got zero interest in pulling people's teeth and seeing them in pain and hating dentists. But of course, once I got elected municipally and subsequently federally, and then I think the high point, making it into cabinet, they became big boosters and suddenly big supporters because they saw what this meant for me, what it could mean for society, and they saw that my community activist days were very, very central to the career that ultimately I chose.